First of all, Andy, just give us a sense of what sort of priority Cass are putting on the cup this season.
I think a big thing is we're just wanting to try and win every game that we're playing. Our form hasn't been great in the, obviously, Super League, so we get an opportunity to get 80 minutes of rugby under our belt against a formidable opposition in Hull FC, and we're looking to, right some wrongs in terms of performance and try and give a good account of ourselves to give ourselves a chance of getting in the hat for the next round.
Formidable opposition and familiar opposition as well. I think it's the 5th Challenge Cup clash between the two sides since 2015, which is remarkable in itself. It's bizarre, isn't it? And you've been on the other side of most of that.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre. We've had a couple of big games, Hull FC and Castleford over the years. We all seem to get drawn out against each other. I don't think they're checking that bag of balls well enough. So hopefully, we have a good account and have a good game on Sunday and get into the hat, like say, for the next round.
Is it the sort of, if you can get the victory and get the performance, is it the sort of result that could translate back into the Super League campaign, do you feel?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. We hope it's a catalyst for obviously some better form and getting some momentum. Winning breeds confidence, and we'll get an opportunity to play 80 minutes. And if we get that win, I'm sure the mood in the camp will be far better leading into obviously the Huddersfield game the following week. So, we're looking to put in a good performance and, try and do our absolute best, to get an 80-minute performance, because that's what's going to be required. You don't get a second chance in the Challenge Cup. It's an absolutely magnificent competition. I've been fortunate enough to, have some success in the Challenge Cup. Obviously, in my former years with Hull FC, and the superb occasions. So, if we can put a good 80-minute performance together and give a good account of ourselves, then I'd like to think that we'll get a result.
So, as someone who fully knows, what does it take to go all the way, and have Cass got that this year?
It takes a little bit of luck. I think that's a big thing. The timing of the games and who's available, etc., is a big thing. I think when was at Hull previously, you're hoping for a good home draw. We've got a home draw this week, and hopefully, we'll get a good following, a good crowd there. I know Hull FC will bring, plenty of supporters, and the atmosphere, should be red hot. The BBC cameras are there. That always adds to the expectation and the anticipation, the excitement of the game. It requires a real high level of performance, because it's all or nothing. It's 80 minutes and you don't get a second opportunity, to right those wrongs. So, you need to make sure emotionally you're fully engaged. You need to make sure physically you're ready to go. Make sure your tactics and technically, you're ready to go, and then mentally you're ready to go. And that's what we've touched on this week. It's going to be a real good challenge, but one we're excited about and we're looking forward to.
What's your take on Holden at the moment?
Yeah, they've been going well. I watched them live against Wigan. I went to the game with my two boys, and we sat in the stands, and we ended up being surrounded by obviously the non-players for Hull because of the tickets that we got. So I had a bit of a catch up with one or two of the guys who I've worked with before. They're defending with a great amount of energy for each other. They're scrambling hard. And, in Clifford, they've got a really good control in half-back who's kicking the ball well and, finding some telling plays for them. The forward pack, is big, strong and, playing very, very direct. And they're creating a good platform for their outside backs to actually pose, teams some real problems. The left edge is strong. The look of threat when they move that ball right to left. So we need to be on our guard and make sure that, we're connected as a defensive unit. Make sure that we're moving, together and working hard for each other, and, try and negate the amount of good ball attack that, Hull FC get. So a big job is obviously, trying to control their, first three plays, the backfield carries, and, those big boppers in, Sartay and South. So, yeah, it's a good challenge, but I'm excited by it.
if he plays it be the first time Jake Truman comes back to Cass as well, he'll grow an extra leg. How good a job do you need to do on him?
Yeah, Troy's a good lad, a real nice kid. Enjoyed working with him last year. He unfortunately, missed a fair chunk of our season with that ACL injury. It's good to see him back out there. He's moving reasonably well considering it's a long injury. He's on an unfamiliar side for him. He's normally been a left side pivot. He's playing on that right edge. So there's some little areas where we think we may be able to challenge obviously Troy. But he's a dangerous player. Plays very instinctive. He's tough for a half-back. Very, very creative. And he'll be a good signing in the long term for Hull.
We won't see your 21 till tomorrow, will we? What are your selection headaches and issues that you're wrestling with this week?
Having 21 players. That's been the challenge this week. We've had a little bit of illness in camp. So Tuesday, we had to cancel the afternoon session because we didn't want players in close proximity in the gym and in the wrestle area in the video room. So we just did a field session and then asked them to go away and do a little bit of work on their own with regard to the weights and gym program. The markers, the wellness, which they're filling, those numbers are still quite low considering obviously it's a Thursday. You'd like to normally see those wellness markers a little bit higher than what they are after a day off. So there's a little bit of illness and a bit of a, cough, cold and, diarrhea, etc., running through the camp. It's been lingering for a couple of weeks now. We get players isolated and away from it and think, we've managed to contain it. And then, a couple of days later, someone else ends up going down with it. So, yeah, it's, lingering a little bit longer than we'd like it to. We're doing everything we can to try and, contain it and make sure those people who are affected, aren't in close proximity to the rest of the squad. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenge, but that's rugby league. Every team has these periods where, they do it tough in terms of bodies and injuries and viruses and illness. We're just doing it a little bit tough at the moment, but we'll crack on and, the 17 blokes who'll enter the field of play on Sunday, I'm sure will give a good account of themselves.
To that end, is there a position or positions that's giving you more trouble in filling than others on Sunday?
We've got some issues in our outside backs. So, that's been a little bit of a challenge. One or two obviously cup-tied. Elliot Wallace cup-tied from an early round. He played for the Midlands against, I think it was Hull Dockers, so he's cup-tied. So, that's a little bit of a kick in the guts for him and a kick in the guts for myself. And then obviously I made the decision with regards to Jason Gary, to play against Bradford. And that's obviously hurting us now because we picked up some injuries. So that's a bit of a challenge. And then, 1 or 2 injuries in there. But, the guys who obviously go out there and perform, they'll be experienced and they'll be able to do a good job for us. So, I can't worry too much about the guys who were not available. We've got to focus on the ones that are and make sure that they're ready to play and put in their best efforts, against Hull FC on Sunday.
Just lastly for me, Andy, according to all reports, Geordie Crowther and Sam Wood are heading your way for next season. Is there anything you can say on those two guys?
Yeah, the 2 players that, we've made offers to and, we like. And the actual discussions has gone well. Hopefully we'll be getting some, confirmation, obviously, in the coming weeks and months. It's a bit busy time and, challenging time with regards to recruitment and, having those conversations with players that you've identified or you think can help improve your team. And obviously those 2 guys are, 2 players that, are good players and think that they could, help obviously us at Castleford Tigers.
And they fit that criteria that you're looking at, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Not just good players, but young emerging players.
Yeah, definitely. Best years in front of them. Still probably haven't fulfilled the potential, but very, very ambitious and they've got a desire to obviously improve and get better. Those are the things that appeal to us as a club, and those are the reasons why we've been looking at them.
Good luck on Sunday, Andy. I'll pass you over.
Thank you.
Just sorry to pest you on injuries again. I think you had a few in the game last week. Gaz Widdock, Niall Evalds. How are they?
Yeah, we're waiting for the scan results on now. He's had his scan today, so we're going to be waiting on the results of that scan, which will probably drop tomorrow. There is a definite tear in there, but we need to see the results of the scan to determine the severity of it and whether it'll need surgery. So that's not great for now. He's run over a black cat in the last couple of years, not being able to get on the field. And they're all upper limb injuries. He's had a bicep tear, he's had a couple of AC joints on the shoulder, and now obviously a pectoral tear. So, it's disappointing for now. He was absolutely gutted last week, which is going to be. He wants to get on the field and contribute and help out his teammates and help out this club, and don't feel as though he's able to do that at the moment. So we'll support him, and hopefully he gets some good news and it's not as severe as we first thought. So we'll see what the results of the scan come back. And then Gaz Widdop, he's just jarred an ankle. He's got a little bit of floating bone in his ankle, which, can sometimes lock up a little bit, causing a bit of discomfort, which challenges him, when he's obviously trying to get around the field. So that's settled down. He was able to train today, got through the session today, both the morning session and the afternoon session. So, we're happy with where Gaz is at. It'll just be a pain tolerance thing with him. And then obviously Jacob Miller, won't be able to play because of a HIA. So, we lost 3 key players there. But, we just have to roll with what we've got. And, those guys will, maybe playing in unfamiliar positions and out position, etc., etc. It'll be a free hit for them. And, we'll go and give the best account of what we can with the 17 that we've got available.
You've got Craig Lingard in the joint now. Just has he had, and if so, what early impact has he had around the place?
Yeah, he's been good as Craig. Just someone who I can, bounce ideas off. Comfortable leading on video and giving feedback, and he's helping on field in terms of coaching players hard. We've got 3 coaches now with myself, Scott Morrell and Craig. So you're able to get a little bit more work into the players and give a little bit more advice to the players. And, Craig's obviously been having a look at a little bit of the attack stuff, which has, been of benefit, just a different set of eyes just to observe and have a look at how we can maybe tweak things and get us functioning a little bit better. So, he's been good as Craig, and he's a experienced, mature, quite a calming influence, which is good. So yeah, he's had a good impact so far.
And just finally, for me, obviously one of the hardest things when you're losing games is making sure that the morale's good and people are coming in with smiles on the face, everything like that. Everyone wants to win. It's not nice when you lose. How challenging is that at the minute, making sure that there is a positivity around the place, there is that perspective that one win could change everything?
Yeah, that's part of being a head coach, going in there with a positive mindset, leading well, coming in with good energy, good enthusiasm, making sure that you're getting the staff together, making sure that they're full of energy and enthusiasm, and you lead that way. So, that's what I've been doing. My vocabulary in terms of my message to the players has been, we need to improve this area, and showing them examples of when we've done things well, and, drawing on previous performances, last year and this year in certain facets of the game. So, that's what comes with being the head coach. You've got to lead, and that's what I've been doing, and that's what I've been asking my staff to do, and leaning on some senior players to lead and make sure that we stay united, stay together, keep working hard, don't be too despondent, don't be too down, because not many games of rugby league are won with people with frowns on their faces. Good teams enjoy coming into work, enjoy each other's company, smiles on faces, ripping in, showing that energy and enthusiasm which you need. And, that's what we'll be, looking to do on the weekend. And that's what we've been, preaching to them during the week.
Is this chance to just sort of freshen up a little bit with it being a new competition? Is it what you need at this stage in the season, nearly halfway through?
Yeah, it's an opportunity to freshen up, like you say. It allows us to take a break from Super League, reset some things, not only for the Challenge Cup, but the second half of the season from a Super League point of view. The guys are excited about the opportunity of playing, on the BBC on a Sunday afternoon in front of their own fans against a team that, you know, will bring plenty of fans and have got a good history over the years from a Castleford Hull point of view. You know, some epic games in cup games, you know, going back to, you know, the 80s where it always seemed to be Hull and Castleford in those semi-finals, etc. And in previous recent years, you know, they've always seemed to cross paths, you know, leading into, you know, assaults on Wembley, you know, albeit, you know, Castleford, you know, they're in 2014 and they're only a couple of years ago. So, you know, both teams are very, very familiar with each other in this competition, and it tends to bring out the best in both teams in terms of performance. So we're looking forward to it.
And there's a real chance to progress, isn't there? I mean, this is 3 wins and you're there at Wembley.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And like you say, you don't need a little bit of luck. And I think the home draw is always a big opportunity. You know, that's the first thing you look for when your name comes out of the hat. Oh, yes, we've managed to get them at home. And, you know, we've managed to get a home tie against, obviously, Hull FC. And, you know, we're looking forward to it. The two teams played out a very, very close game, you know, in Super League in round 1. They found a little bit of form and on the back of 3 wins and, you know, playing a good brand of rugby league. And, you know, we're obviously on the back of, you know, poor performance against Catalan. And we'll need to obviously show some major improvements to obviously get the result on Sunday. But we're excited and we're looking forward to it.
What would you pinpoint as perhaps the biggest area that your side needs to improve on?
Being competitive. I don't think we competed hard enough at the weekend against Catalan. You know, from the first minute till that 40th minute, you know, there was quite clearly, you know, running harder, tackling harder, competing harder than we were prepared to compete. So that's a real big area of improvement for us, you know, showing a greater desire to compete hard. You know, because technically sometimes mistakes happen and, you know, edge defence, you know, some guys will maybe made the wrong decision. But I think if you compete hard, you know, you can cover up, you know, some mistakes. I just don't think we competed hard enough at the weekend, and that was a big area which we spoke about at half time. We managed to show a little bit more desire and competed a little bit harder in the second 40 minutes, and we got some rewards on the scoreboard because of that. So, you know, we need to make sure that we compete hard, and it doesn't take us, you know, 40 minutes and conceding plenty of points to show that competitive drive which you need in this competition.
And what would your message be to, you know, Cas fans? Is it a case of, you know, stick by us kind of thing?
Yeah, 100%. You know, we're disappointed. Nobody more disappointed than the playing group. Where we're playing and where we're at. You know, we're not happy, you know, with the fact that, you know, we're sitting second bottom. But there's a long part of the season still to go. We're only coming up to, you know, the halfway point. And it's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And we're looking to make a far more positive finish to the season than how we've started. You know, we've had some challenges, change of coach and, you know, not being able to get off span on the field, which has been a challenge. But we need to make sure that the second half of the season is far better than the first half. So, you know, that's been a big focus for us moving forward.